Good morning, or afternoon. My name is Amanda Zurawski, and I live just down the road in Austin, Texas. As a former teacher myself, I am so proud to be standing in a room full of so many amazing educators. But today, I'm here to share a very personal story, a story that was written because of the dangerous, extreme behavior of certain politicians who believe they can control our bodies. In the spring of 2022, my husband Josh and I learned I was pregnant with our first baby, a girl. We were over the moon. My first trimester was smooth sailing, but suddenly at 18 weeks, I suffered catastrophic complications. My cervix dilated prematurely, and there was no way to safely reverse course. So we were with 100% certainty going to lose our baby girl. We were devastated. What I needed at that point was an abortion, so that I could safely and with dignity deliver my daughter and begin the healing process, both physically and emotionally. But unfortunately, this was post-Roe, Texas. The near total abortion ban had gone into effect just 2 days after my water broke. Ending the pregnancy would have been considered an illegal abortion, and my doctor would be at risk of loss of her license and even jail time. So I was told to wait until I got so sick that my life was considered in danger, one of the rare exceptions where a doctor in Texas can actually intervene. It took 3 days in a near-death crash into septic shock before my doctor could finally provide the health care that I desperately needed. After stabilizing my vitals enough to deliver our baby, who we named Willow, I crashed again with another bout of sepsis. I was transferred to the ICU, where I remained for 3 days. My family flew in from across the country for fear that I wouldn't pull through. And it was in that dark and lonely hospital room where I realized I was actually lucky, because I lived, and I knew others wouldn't be so lucky. What I went through was nothing short of barbaric, but it didn't need to happen. It did because of Donald Trump and his allies who continuously brag about killing Roe v. Wade. It is unthinkable to me that anyone could cheer on the cruel abortion bans that nearly cost me my life. But they do. Tragically, my story is not unique. I am one of many women in our country whose life has been put at risk because of the anti-reproductive freedom agenda. I know this because I've met them. From Texas to Arizona, Idaho to Georgia, women like me have been told that we are not sick enough to receive the care that we desperately need. We have been turned away from hospitals. We have been found collapsed on bathroom floors. We've been told to flee across state borders in the hope of receiving basic reproductive care. We have been robbed of our freedom. I am just one of these women, and like most Americans, I believe that healthcare decisions belong between a woman and her doctor. If we don't elect reproductive freedom champions up and down the ballot, my story and the stories of so many others will be the reality for so many American women. My husband Josh and I are now still trying to build our family through IVF, and I will be damned if politicians try to take that from us too. To protect reproductive freedom is to protect human rights. To protect reproductive freedom is to protect economic freedom and opportunity. To protect reproductive freedom is to protect our democracy. Because how free are we as a people if half of us can't even control our own damn bodies? Look, y'all, this fight is going to take all of us. We need to have these conversations with the people that we care about, and we need to have them often. We need people to know what the stakes are for our future and why they should care. We need to show up. We need to volunteer for reproductive rights champions running for office up and down the ballot. Y'all, the stakes of this election could not be higher for our lives and for our future. Thank you.
Good afternoon, American Federation of Teachers. My name is Brianna Campbell. I currently live in San Antonio, Texas, and I am a proud advocate for sexual and reproductive health care, including abortion. For those of us in Texas, we are no stranger to the attacks on our reproductive freedom, where politicians believe that they know better than us when it comes to what we can and cannot do with our bodies, but they couldn't be more wrong or out of touch. When I was just 19 years old, I became pregnant. Growing up in a religious, conservative, anti-abortion household, I knew that the choice I wanted for myself was not the choice that my family would support. When I told my parents I was pregnant, their first question was, "When are you getting married?" I didn't want to marry this person, let alone carry their baby. But just 1 week later, we were married, and I was going to carry the pregnancy against my wishes to term. During a routine checkup, my doctor told me that the fetus had stopped growing and they could no longer find the heartbeat. I needed a D&C as soon as possible to avoid sepsis and infection. When I got pregnant a second time, I experienced the same reality. But this time, my doctor insisted on waiting until they could find the heartbeat before I could get the care that I needed. For days, the dead tissue in my body threatened infection, and I was forced to keep living life when what I needed was abortion care. When I went back to the hospital as instructed, there was still no heartbeat, to no one's surprise. I received another D&C, and I was so angry at how I was treated. My risk of infection was not as important as if seeing a pregnancy that was already over might miraculously develop a heartbeat. My life did not matter as much as this doctor's own personal beliefs. That's not medicine, that's extremism. Later on, I became a patient at a local Planned Parenthood, and that's where I learned that a D&C is actual abortion care. It's where I learned what a healthcare and a non-judgmental, supportive environment looks like and feels like. It's where I learned that Planned Parenthood centers continue to be operational in Texas because they are committed to ensuring that everyone gets access to care no matter what. I'm standing up here today to make it clear that abortion is healthcare. Abortion is valid, whatever the reason, and frankly, it is no one's damn business. We deserve to live in a world where our bodies are exactly that, ours, where our personal medical decisions are exactly that, personal, where abortion is considered an essential right because it is. Any politician that claims to call themselves a patriot while simultaneously stripping over half the country of their right to control their own body isn't a patriot. they're dangerous. And they have no business deciding our futures. I believe that we can achieve a world where future generations won't have to fear that hard-fought rights will be taken away. Because how are we free without reproductive freedom? Yep. I now spend my time volunteering. I got my associates, and I'm currently pursuing a bachelor's in microbiology and immunology. Thank you. My life would have been very different if I had been forced to carry those pregnancies to term. I know for certain that I would not be standing before you right now. Reproductive freedom is economic freedom. Reproductive freedom is educational freedom. And reproductive freedom is freedom, period. Thank you. And we have got to fight to ensure that the freedom remains our reality, and I hope each of you joins me. Thank you.